We've analyzed thousands of medical studies and only brought you the best evidence. Want to know what really works? Then stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe.
You know that feeling, right? You're looking for something really important online, and bam, you hit a wall. A digital gatekeeper. It's one of the most common frustrations out there. But every now and then, what's hiding behind those roadblocks is an absolute treasure trove of knowledge. Today, we're going to smash through one of those walls to uncover a medical roadmap that could seriously change lives. Let's dive in.
Oh yeah, here we go. You know the drill. The page starts to load, and then this. Everything just stops. A little pause where the internet itself seems to be giving you the side eye. And just like that, the accusations start flying. Isn't my computer, my network? Suddenly you're on the defensive, and all you wanted to do was learn something. The wall just got a little bit higher.
Ugh! Maybe the three most infuriating words in the entire digital world. Try again later. You're stuck in this loop, this digital waiting room, and the information you need is just right there on the other side.
And it all comes down to this one almost philosophical question. A machine is asking you to prove your own humanity, just so you can access human knowledge. The irony, right?
And then, finally, the gates swing open. We're in. But, as you're about to see, getting past that digital gatekeeper, that was only the first hurdle. Now comes the real challenge, actually decoding the information we fought so hard to get to. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's start decoding this research. Our mission here is to take what looks like an impossible wall of text and find a clear, understandable path forward. So, this is the title of the paper we've been trying to get to. It is a mouthful. It's packed with jargon, and honestly, it's the kind of thing that makes you want to just close the tab. But we're not going to do that. We are going to break this down piece by piece because what's hidden inside this language is incredibly important. All right, first things first, let's tackle this big one, synucleinopathies. It sounds super complex, right? But really, it's just the scientific umbrella term for a group of really devastating brain disorders. We're talking about things like Parkinson's disease and dementia with Lewy bodies. So this is the family of diseases the study is focused on. Now, this next term is absolutely crucial, the prodromal stage. Just think of it like the silent beginning of the disease. It's this window of time where things are starting to happen in the brain, but the major, obvious symptoms haven't shown up yet. This stage is a golden opportunity, because if you can spot the disease here, you might be able to step in before the real damage is done.
So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How on earth do you spot a disease when it's still in its silent stage? Well, this study zoomed in on a really fascinating and powerful clue. And the surprising part? It doesn't show up when we're awake. It appears when we're fast asleep.
It's a condition called REM sleep behavior disorder, or RBD for short. Okay, so normally when you're in REM sleep, that's the deep dreaming part of sleep, your body is basically paralyzed. It's a safety feature so you don't act out your dreams. But with RBD, that switch is broken. That paralysis is gone, and people start physically and sometimes violently acting out their dreams. And it turns out, this is way more than just a quirky sleep habit. It's a massive red flag.
The researchers couldn't be clearer. They call RBD a powerful early predictor. What that means is it's one of the strongest, earliest signs we have that a person is at an extremely high risk of developing a disease like Parkinson's down the road. This is huge because it gives us that critical window, that opportunity to try and protect the brain.
So, how did they figure all this out? Well, this wasn't just a small theory. They tracked 1,160 people with RBD. This was a huge international effort, with 28 centers all around the world, all watching to see how their patients' symptoms progressed over time.
And here is the absolute key finding from all that work. When they looked at all the different symptoms, a really clear pattern jumped out. The motor symptoms, things like tremors, stiffness, balance problems, those progressed pretty quickly and in a really consistent way. But the other markers, like changes in thinking or sense of smell, they were much slower to change and way more unpredictable from person to person. This makes those motor symptoms a much more reliable yardstick for measuring how the disease is moving forward. Okay, so why does that matter so much? Well, because it completely changes how we can test new drugs. Take a look at this. If you want to see if a new therapy is working by tracking those reliable motor symptoms, you might only need, say, 150 to 560 people in your trial. But if you try to use those slower, more variable symptoms, you'd need a massive, incredibly expensive, and super long trial. This discovery is a total game changer for how you design these clinical trials to get answers fast.
And this, right here, this is the treasure we were looking for. After breaking through all those digital roadblocks, this is the payoff. This research isn't just a bunch of data points. It's a practical, honest-to-goodness roadmap for finding drugs that can protect the brain and doing it faster and more efficiently than ever before.
And that roadmap leads us to this one, remarkable number 117. By putting together the most reliable markers in the smartest way, the researchers calculated that the most efficient trial design possible would only need 117 people in each group. Think about that. That makes testing potential new cures so much more achievable.
So let's just walk through the whole plan. It's actually beautifully simple. First, you identify the right at-risk people early, using RBD as your clue. Then, you track the right things, mainly motor symptoms. This lets you design clinical trials that are smaller, faster, and cheaper. And what does that mean? It means you get results on new drugs way sooner, which finally lets us intervene during that all-important prodromal stage. It's a clear path to progress.
You see, this isn't just about one scientific paper. What we're looking at is a fundamental shift in how we can approach some of the most difficult and heartbreaking diseases of the human brain.
So what are the big takeaways here? What should you remember? First, a seemingly simple sleep disorder can be an incredibly powerful early warning sign for major brain disease. Second, by focusing on the right symptoms, the motor symptoms, we can test new therapies way more efficiently. And third, all this research gives us a clear, actionable roadmap to speed up the search for a cure.
And it all leaves us with this one kind of beautiful final thought. We spend so much time and energy looking for the clues to brain disease inside the complexities of the brain itself. But what if one of the most important warnings has been hiding in plain sight this whole time, not in our cells, but in the stories our minds tell us while we sleep?
If you want to analyze medical questions yourself in seconds, using evidence-based medicine principles, the link to the service is below the video.